Hello, friends. Thanks for joining me today. As you know, I have been in India for the past 3 months and I was amazed to learn that many people here are vitamin D deficient. Shocking to see that many people here are deficient in the sunshine vitamin when we have sunshine, lots of lovely golden sunshine most of the year. And our sunshine also has the UV factor in it, can help our skin produce vitamin D. Vitamin D is also hormone. We won't go too much into the chemical, technical aspects of vitamin D, but we'll discuss why we Indians are low in vitamin D. Suddenly there's a pandemic here, and how to fix it. At least most people can fix this. I'm making this video because I'm passionate about my subjects. I'm a food and nutritional consultant, also a life balance coach. And food, nutrition, health, I'm passionate about these subjects. Also, when logic and common sense are tossed out of the window and there's like lot of money involved. For example, we in India have a lifetime pass to vitamin D in the form of sun. Many people in many countries do not have that luxury. But instead of using our lifetime pass, we are buying day tickets and week cards. That's vitamin D tablets. Yeah, you might say it's so illogical, but that's how we are now. In addition, I mean the sun is an optimal choice for us. The human body is amazing. Our skin is according to where we live. Like if you live in the tropics, like if you're in Africa, then your skin is very dark because you get lots of sun. So our melanin, the natural sunscreen melanin that gives us a brown color, in such places it becomes very dark. The same with people who work in the fields. They are very dark. Then people who live in temperate Arctic zones, they are very light colored. That's because they have very less melanin and they need to absorb the sun's rays to make vitamin D faster. So the skin is lighter. So if we see this major thing is based on where we live, so that we can make vitamin D. You see how important this factor is. So that essentially means we human beings are supposed to use the sun to get our vitamin D. Internet, YouTube, they all are Western concepts. Like we in India have a great wealth of information from our forefathers, which we sort of forsake to get the information from the West. Ayurveda, yoga, Siddha, just to name a few. Even our medical associations take the guidelines from the West, UK and US, and don't even consolidate it with our wealth of information before issuing their guidelines. Suddenly they have a new guideline here saying that this was from the UK or the US, and then they also take it in. I don't tell it's wrong, most are prestigious institutions, but we have to think of us, what is best for our bodies before we blindly follow the West. Same with individuals also. We cannot blindly follow what is in YouTube and internet. Vitamin D, it's very essential. Vitamin D essential for good metabolism. Simplest way of telling is, if you're struggling with weight loss and you have a low vitamin D, they're one of the major causes. It's vital for bone health. Here I have to mention the calcium metabolism. It's such a complex process. We human beings store about 1 to 2% of the calcium in our body, in our blood. The rest is in our bones, teeth. So let us say the calcium in the blood is so vital that it has to be at that level. Put it simply, if you're low in calcium and you eat a lot of calcium, but you neglect the vitamin D part, the body cannot absorb the calcium. Vitamin D is essential. So what does the body do? The body takes out the calcium from the bones where it is necessary to keep the serum, the blood levels okay. So the bones get weaker, the body gets weaker, all because you did not add vitamin D to the calcium you're taking in. This is a simple way to explain. Calcium metabolism is very complex. That's why you see vitamin D deficiency in children causes rickets. Pregnant women have a lot of issues. So when you're pregnant, it's vital to check vitamin D levels in addition to a lot of other tests. I think normally the doctors do that. And keep the levels optimum or okay levels. In adults, vitamin D deficiency can cause osteomalacia, osteoporosis, so like brittle bones. So it's again vital to check the levels and make sure your level is okay to optimal. Vitamin D is also necessary for immunity. To fight off infection, we need a good optimal level of vitamin D. Researchers come that even certain cancers, you get it easily when the vitamin D levels are low. I'm sorry for the noise. It's one of the neighboring houses. They are working on it, and I mean, they're starting so early in the morning to late at night. Yeah, so in between they take rest, and I tried to record my video at that time, but guess not today. Low vitamin D levels does not cause any infections, cancer or diabetes. But if you are prone to like diabetes, or you're going to get an infection or even cancer, and your vitamin D levels are very low, pushes you. So it's easier to get them. Vitamin D, we absorb it from our foods in the small intestines. As we grow older, the absorption processes. It's not only for this vitamin, for a lot of vitamins, it gets slower and it reduces. So old adults might also suffer from vitamin D deficiency. The sun is the answer. People with a lot of fat in their bodies, usually obese individuals, even persons who are not so obese but have a lot of fat in their bodies, have a very difficult time because vitamin D gets trapped in the fat. Here I have to mention, maybe you already know, vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin. That's why we have to also think about the toxicity. But when vitamin D gets trapped in the fat, you need more vitamin D. There seems to be a pandemic in India. Suddenly, lots of people are deficient in vitamin D. So I did check a few scientific papers and read a lot of researches that were done around it. It's amazing to see that both males and females have this deficiency, and almost every state is represented at that. And age also, it's like almost people of all ages have this. So why is there a pandemic in India suddenly that we are deficient in vitamin D when we have the golden resource of the sun? Fatty fish is a good source. I'm a vegetarian, So but I think all fishes have a little bit. I'm not very sure about the fishes in India, and yeah, but I know fatty fish is a good source. But here in India as well, there are a lot of cod liver oil tablets, which I remember has been for the past 40 years or so, has been in the market. Egg yolks are a source, but it's amazing that people throw out the yolks and eat the whites. Cheese is a moderate source, but it's good for vegetarians. Curd has a little vitamin D. You also have a lot of fortified foods. In the West, there's a lot of fortified foods, but I think in India too, foods are being fortified with vitamin D. Here I have to mention that people who have kidney disease, liver disease, intestinal issues like Crohn's, etc., have a tough time absorbing vitamin D from the intestines. Again, the sun is a source. I'm a food and nutrition consultant, and I believe in the magic, in the power of sun. We are made so that our skin, when the sun rays hit on it, the UV, we are supposed to make our own vitamin D. That's what I believe in. Here I have to take a couple of minutes to tell my story. In my mid-20s, I moved to Scandinavia, Norway. There we have like 6 months of winter, and also the UV rays, because of the slanted sun or something, it's so low. Like right now in Trivandrum, we have UV factor is 10, and I think in Delhi it's like 4. Even those are good. But like in Norway, for like 7-8 months of the year, it's 0, and then it goes to 1, 2, 3. It's so low. So I came down with a lot of health issues, like suddenly. And luckily the health system is slightly different from here. It took me a long time to get treated, and also since we cannot do even a simple blood test without the doctor's prescription, it took me, I was running from pillar to post. Finally one of the doctors did take pity on me and did order the vitamin D test. You could pay from your own pocket, but still you can't get the test unless the doctor gives you a prescription. So he found the vitamin D levels were extremely low. And then he said, tomorrow you're coming in to get an injection and you have to continue. I asked him if I could take the larger pill for a weekly dose for a few weeks. He said no. And then there again, I can't buy a pill with a higher dose without the prescription. So he just wanted to go the injection way and all. And I tried, okay, after discussing and failing to impress him, I just thought I will get my vitamin D from the sun. I tried to check if I could go to some place in Europe that was closer and get some D. And then I found out that most of Europe during the winter had very low UV levels. It was not worth the trip. Within 3 days, I got leave from work. I also booked a ticket to India. And I did come to Kerala, Thiruvananthapuram, just 2 weeks. And in that, 2 days traveling time and 1 day train. So for 11 days, I sat in the sun. Here I have to say, between 10 and 3 is okay to use the sun. Since like around 12, it's very hot, I decided to sit in the sun from 2 o'clock, 2 to 3. So for 11 days, I sat 2 to 3 wearing a sleeveless top and a short. So I could expose my legs and my arms. Of course, I wore a big hat and sunglasses, and I used sunscreen on my face. So 11 days. And then I returned to Norway, and within a week I got the blood test, and the extremely low levels had risen up to slightly low, moderate, that slightly low, borderline. And the doctor at once questions me, oh, you went to India and got injections? And I said, no. Then he asked, what did you do there? I said, I just sat in the sun. He didn't believe me. I don't care. But here I have to tell that this is something I firmly believe in. I believe in the sun. Our bodies, the optimal way to get vitamin D is from the sun. That's my personal belief. You consult your doctor. So here again, you see, I tested out my theory. I took a risk, but I knew I was right, and it really helped me. And right now also I am still, it's a continuous struggle with my D, maintaining my D levels. I do eat maintenance dosage in between, once in a while when I have to, but otherwise I use the sun. While I'm in India, I use the sun. So why are we Indians deficient in vitamin D? There are a few causes. One thing we personally cannot change, but that can be changed, is the air pollution. The more pollution in the air, the less UV rays hit our skin and the less vitamin D we make. Quite a few of my friends were telling, oh, it's because we are vegetarian, it's a vegetarian diet, sweet. But then again, in states like in Kerala, where they eat a lot of meat, fish, beef, etc., even there the vitamin D deficiency is there. In addition to the diet, get your sun. We have melanin, a natural sunscreen. This prevents the toxicity. We can store 5 to 6 months of vitamin D in our bodies. For example, Europeans with very light skin, they have very low melanin. So when they go to the sun, they need 5 minutes, when we with the darker skin need 20 minutes, and one with the even darker skin might need half an hour. So this mechanism is amazing. It's naturally built in us. So that also makes it a little bit more harder for us to get the D. So we need a minimum 15 minutes of sunlight with arms, legs exposed. The more area you expose, the lesser time. Like I live in Norway. There I see many Indians, especially the younger Indians too, slathering on sunscreen and then I tell them, we don't need that much sunscreen. For the face, yes, but not for the body if we need the vitamin D. But then they tell, no, in Norway, this and that and all, we are Norwegians, yeah. But then I tell, your passport may say you're a Norwegian, but you have an Indian body with Indian skin. So even the very little vitamin D you might get from the sun there won't be there once you slather on sunscreen. Instead, what we need is some after sun lotion. Aloe vera gel is very good. So we need to do that after sitting in the sun. Here I am talking about 15 minutes of sun. But of course, if you want to sit for hours, it's your prerogative. It's not good, but you can do that. Then you might require a lot of sunscreen. But for a 15 minutes in the sun, with just covering your face or having a hat or sunglasses and sunscreen on your face, you can expose your body, your skin, and get vitamin D. Another very important factor why we don't get enough vitamin D is our indoor lifestyle. This is mostly the advent of TV, cable TV, internet, games, computer games, etc. The children are also indoors. Like before, probably the children would be out playing for an hour in the weekends, but now they are sitting indoors. That's one of the reasons why children are also low in vitamin D. Adults, many of those working adults can use their lunch break, maybe after eating lunch, a 10-minute walk in the sun would really help. But that's not done. And actually, many who suffer from vitamin D deficiency sit by the window through the glass. Of course, they are getting the sun, but they are not getting the UV So they are not getting vitamin D. So instead of that, go out in the sun for 10 minutes and probably you don't need to think about anything else. Another important factor is our clothing. I don't mean to say you have to shed off your clothes and run around nude. No. Record for 15 minutes in the sun, it's okay to expose your arms and legs and get the sun. But let's say you don't want to wear shorts. Ladies might not. Some do, but some don't. At least expose your arms. Try to expose whatever you can to the sun, except the face. I would prefer not to expose the face, but expose and get the sun. Of course, guys do that. Guys wear shorts. It's okay. In the recent years, the cancer scare has reached here, so people are slathering sunscreens. If you're going to sit in the sun for hours, then you might need proper sunscreen for the whole body. But if it's going to be a 15-minute dose for the vitamin D, then you don't need a sunscreen on your body. Many people cannot absorb vitamin D properly from the intestine. People with kidney disease, liver disease, intestinal issues, a bit older people, lot, etc., etc. But then again, some people cannot absorb vitamin D properly from the sun, those with some skin issues. So here again, consult your doctor, your nutritionist, and try to get your vitamin D to optimal levels. I find it amazing that people even now consider fat as being healthy. Like even in Kerala now, people tell, oh, you're very healthy. They mean fat. So from a health point of view, it's okay not to be overweight or obese and not to have excess fat in your body. I'm simply amazed that in many parts of India, even now, that person is considered a healthy person. Finally, we come to the most important factor. That's the reason for low vitamin D levels in India. These are my observations, but I know I'm right. We are afraid of the sun. We shun the sun. This is something left over from our British rule in India, the British Raj. We consider a fairer skin a better skin. I still remember when I was young, I didn't use Fair and Lovely cream. Oh, many used and said once you apply the cream on your face, after a week or 2 weeks, you got a shade fairer. I was scared to put the chemical goo on my face. It's a very complex psychological issues, but we hanker after the Western skin. Thank you, British. One of the worst things they have left behind is that attraction of the white skin, pale color. You see matrimonial ads, wheatish complexion, fair complexion. And anywhere and everywhere we introduce the color of our body. It's like the skin color, what our skin color plays such a huge role in life. It doesn't. We no longer accept that our glorious brown skin. We have melanin. We have a lovely brown skin. Why are we hankering for the white skin of the West? I think it will take more decades to get rid of that white skin is better, fairer complexion is better. Like sometimes people describe, oh, she's such a beautiful, attractive girl, but she has a dark complexion. Really? Somehow we have it programmed in our head that fairer skin is better, fairer person is more attractive. It's amazing, but this thought has to go. We have to start the process of letting our children. We shouldn't impart this to our future generations. Unfortunately, we do. Unlike many countries in the West, we have the glorious sun year round, wonderful sunshine, UV rays. Without sun, there is no life. in many states in India, we worship the sun god. There's a reason to it. So instead of using our sun, using our wealth, using our brown skin, we hanker after the pale skin, we shun the sun, and we are low in vitamin D and we suffer from vitamin D deficiency. Are you deficient in vitamin D? Check. It's a small blood test. Usually the doctor will put you on a weekly dose of 60,000 units, and then that's not a maintenance dose. After a couple of months, we'll check it again and put you on a minimal dose, maintenance dose. But with all this, try to get it from the sun. Toxicity from getting vitamin D from the sun is very rare. Apart from like, share, subscribe, etc. I would like to tell you, please forward this video to anyone you know who's suffering from vitamin D deficiency. Thank you. Have a lovely day, friends. I hope you have got your today's dose of vitamin D from the sun. Bye.